Holy crap, this is a huge breakdown. So let's just get started.
I am Boba Fett.
How do you do, G-Pod crew? It's your 90 Buddy Putty here, and today we are talking about Chapter 1 of the Book of Boba Fett called Stranger in a Strange Land. Now, you're going to notice in this full breakdown that in the beginning I don't have a title because I go through a lot of the initial information before they even give us a title on screen, and we don't even get a title when you first start up the episode. So for me to get this breakdown done pretty quickly, I had to just do what I can. And of course, the title doesn't show up until later on in the episode when it pops up on the screen. So with that being said, this was an amazing episode. Chapter 1 was amazing. I can't wait to see how it's going to continue from here. But let's get into the full breakdown because there's a lot to go through. Now, for our first Easter egg, we're going to see Boba Fett here in a BACTA tank. Now, if you remember, Luke Skywalker was in a BACTA tank back in Empire Strikes Back. So this is actually what we're seeing here with Boba. He's actually in a BACTA tank, and you can, this is clearly after the episode or situation where he was in the SARLAC pit. Now, what's going to happen next is there's going to be a series of flashbacks to different locations and different parts of his life. I guess just to give you a rundown what's going on, so let's go through each one of these flashbacks. The first flashback is KAMINO. And if you remember, KAMINO is where the clones were created by his father, Jango Fett. And he also was the first, that was basically where he was born. He was cloned by his father, Jango, but he was an unaltered clone that could not age rapidly just like the clones did, which again became the Stormtroopers or Clone Troopers in Attack of the Clones. So this takes place in Attack of the Clones Episode 2 of the Star Wars movies. Next we have GEONOSIS, which was the location that Boba Fett witnessed his father's death to Mace Windu during that battle in the movie Attack of the Clones. And this is actually a very pivotal scene where he actually picks up the helmet of his father, Jango Fett, and of course Mace Windu cut off his head. So this is location of GEONOSIS, and he's having a flashback, of course, of this as well as the SARLAC pit. He is now in the digestive stomach of the SARLAC pit, and this is where we continue our story from here. Now we have the escape of Boba Fett from the SARLAC pit. Now, in the comic books, this wasn't the same situation. It was an actual explosion from his jetpack that freed him, and some weird telepathic from a character I can't remember at this moment that literally was telepathic with the other dead bodies and was able to control the SARLAC so he can escape and use the explosion. And his armor was heavily damaged in the digestive system of the SARLAC. Honestly, it was a bit weird, and I don't remember exclusively who the character is, so if you want to tell me in the comments below and refresh my memory, but I will state that this is definitely the best way, I think, of him escaping from the SARLAC pit. It's simple, makes him badass, and then we continue the story from there. Why am I not surprised that JAWAS took Boba Fett's armor? This is expected, and I don't know why I'm even surprised, but it's funny. Then we have the Tusken Raiders here, and this is how he's going to get his gaffy stick that you saw in The Mandalorian. And, of course, is a regular weapon when it comes to Tusken Raiders. Also, I wanted to make a note here. You're probably looking and noticing that below the title says Chapter 1 Unknown. At this point in the episode, we have no idea what the name of the title is, and I record my Easter eggs literally during the episode as I'm watching when something that catches my attention that a lot of people might not be informed of, or just might be questioning when it comes to looking for Easter eggs, reviews, or things of that nature. So, of course, the beginning of this video is pre-recorded after I watch the episode to give my final thoughts. But of course, as I'm doing the Easter eggs. So that's why you see the chapter name, if it even has a chapter name, is currently known as Unknown. Hopefully we get a chapter name. Anyway, let's continue. Now, what you see here could be a serum. Now, I remember in the comics they actually showed it with a needle, so I'm not exactly sure if it's the same thing, and how much lore when it comes to medical properties in the world of Star Wars. So, this one I'm took a moment to look for it and couldn't find anything. So if you know anything in the comments, I'd love to have it and be able to pin it so that way at least this could be answered on my part, because this is the only thing I can't figure out in the episode so far. And these are Banthas. They first appeared in Star Wars Episode 1 and is the transportation of the Tusken Raiders. So there you go. I'm really excited to see this. So the Tusken Raiders, the more, when it comes to like lore, which they might have, I can definitely tell they might have found a little bit of this, but they've never really pushed the lore of Tusken Raiders. And I love that Boba Fett is a big part of this now. But if you notice, the Tusken Raider here is wearing a lot of trinkets around its neck. This gives it, whenever it wears a lot of stuff around its neck that they've looted or taken from their enemies, it shows that they have dominance over the rest of the Tusken Raiders. So this, seeing all these trinkets and necklaces and everything around its body, shows that this Tusken Raider is a force to reckon with, or has top leadership within the Tusken Raiders themselves. So I'm glad that we're finally getting to see that part of when it comes to the Tusken Raiders as a tribe. And here we have a Rodian. If you remember Greedo, that the whole thing with Star Wars, who shot first when it came to Han Solo, Greedo or Han? Greedo was a Rodian, and this is a Rodian as well. They come in different shades of color and everything. What is this Rodian in general aspect? I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out in just a bit. Or maybe not. He may be a one-off character, but that's the species at least. And this here is a Massiff, which is the dogs or animals of the Tusken Raiders. Now, they didn't originally appear in the original trilogy, 4, 5, and 6, but they did eventually premiere or been revealed in the prequels of the Star Wars movies. So it's nice to see them referring both to, of course, the Tusken Raiders and the Massiffs as well. Now, these droids I've actually never seen before. They look like they're a mixture of like a helper, service droid, maybe even a medical droid, but have a lot of the PITT droids, the mechanic droids that actually have the saucer-like heads. But I've never seen these droids before, so I'm not sure if there's a new name that's going to be put out there for them, or maybe I'm just not aware of seeing these somewhere. They don't look like anything I've seen in the prequels or in the movies, and I could be wrong, and maybe they did, and I just am not recollecting. So definitely tell me in the comments below. The best comments definitely will get some thumbs up, and if someone can actually answer any of the questions I have in this video, then definitely answer them all, and I will pin your comment. Let's continue. Now, this is an AQUALISH, and they come from the planet Ando. The most well-known AQUALISH will be Ponyo Baba from the first Star Wars A New Hope, the one that gets his arm cut off in the cantina. Now you hear Boba Fett say they really need a protocol droid. Now, if you're not familiar, a protocol droid is C-3PO. C-3PO, if you remember, got captured by Jabba the Hutt, and they said that they needed a new protocol droid because Jabba killed or destroyed the last protocol droid that was evolved. So then, when C-3PO got captured, he ended up standing beside Jabba on the throne and becoming his interpreter to all other creatures and beings of the world. So the joke here is he needs a protocol droid, is just a callback to Return of the Jedi when Jabba got C-3PO as a protocol droid. I love that they nodded on that one. Oh my god, CRADOSSAK. CRADOSSAK is a Trandoshan, and you'll remember the most well-known Trandoshan was Bossk from The Empire Strikes Back, when we first also saw Boba Fett. What makes CRADOSSAK so interesting is he was actually the leader of the bounty hunters guild that Boba Fett was in. So when you hear him say, I used to work for him, it's because he was part of the bounty hunters guild. So this means that the comics are now starting to trickle in as lore to the actual show. This is amazing. This makes me so excited for what's to come in the Book of Boba Fett. Now, this character species is a TWI'LEK. You remember a TWI'LEK was one of the dancing characters that got put into the Rancor pit in Jabba's palace in Return of the Jedi. Now, I don't know which one this one in particular is, and I didn't go into deep research trying to find his name. So honestly, this is going to be another one of those I'm just going to have to just nip it in the bud and say I don't know, unfortunately. These are Gamorreans from Gamorre. They were in The Empire Strikes Back in Jabba's palace. That's pretty much all you need to know. Well, it's nice to see Max Rebo still is at work, and that he has one of the model nodes, which is one of the members of the Free Grid Den and the model nodes that played in the original Cantina in Star Wars A New Hope. So again, nice to see the model nodes and Max Rebo working together to create a new band. You remember Max Rebo was actually playing in Jabba's palace. Anyway, just cool to see them working together. Not going to deny there's a lot to unpack here when it comes to so many of the droids in the Cantina that you're going to see here. There is a lot for me to go through, and I figured I could either just go through them or just say there's a lot here. I'm probably not going to run them all down. I'm sure Rockstar will, or someone else will, that gets more views than I do. Once eventually my channel is huge, I will go through all these and spend that time, but I've got to get the video done as quick as I can so I can get the content out to you. So just be aware, there's a lot of droids here. More TWI'LEKS. It seems like TWI'LEKS are going to have a major part in this series, which also means we're probably going to get a lot of fan fiction. Now you'll notice that Boba Fett, tells Garza Flip here about how he's taken over the throne from Bib Fortuna. Bib Fortuna is the TWI'LEK that has the tail wrapped around his neck that you actually saw at the end of Season 2 of Mandalorian. And this is when Boba Fett actually took the throne off of Bib Fortuna. Which again, Bib Fortuna was actually working for Jabba the Hutt before Jabba the Hutt died way back in Return of the Jedi. So if you're confused on who Bib Fortuna is, I'll put a picture up on the screen right here so it won't be forgotten. Let's continue. Now these could be modified versions of the shield gauntlets, which were blue and round shields that could be carried as a form of defense. But these are much larger versions of those. But again, I could be wrong, and maybe there's something else, or called something else, I should say. Now, what you see here could possibly be like a SWOOP gang. SWOOP gang was actually a gang of beings that would ride around like biker gangs on swoops that were a lot faster than speeder bikes. These are still speeder bikes that you see here. So I'm guessing that this is a speeder gang that's leaving their mark, but might be in the common interest of like the swoop gangs or the swooper gangs from the books. So again, they do change things a lot when it comes to the new lore since Disney bought it, and that's what I think is going on here. And then finally we have the sand creature. Now here's what's bothering me about this sand creature. I know what a basilisk is, which is a 4-armed creature, and a GUNDARK, but this doesn't look like either one of them. But what makes me even more frustrated is looking at his face. I've seen this creature's face before, but I don't think it had 4 arms before. I think the creators decided to combine 2 creatures to make one. This face I've actually seen, I think, on Robot Chicken or something else in the Star Wars lore, and it's driving me bonkers trying to figure it out. What could it be? I have no freaking idea, and that's what's bothering me. So if you know what creature I'm referring to right here, please tell me in the comments below. And if it does have 4 arms, then definitely point that out to me as well. But I don't think it did, and I don't think this is a GUNDARK, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. And there you have it. That is the full breakdown of the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 1. Now keep in mind, again, I did have a few things I didn't know there that seemed familiar, especially that last creature, the head on it. I know I've seen it before, and it bothers me that I couldn't pinpoint where I saw it and even find it when it came to Google. It's the reason why my review, or I should say my full breakdown, ended up being later than I wanted to. I would have get this done around 4 a.m. Eastern time, but I got it done 5 a.m. Eastern time and won't be uploaded probably till 6 a.m. Eastern time. It's unfortunate, but true. And all because of one creature. That's dumbfounded. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Next Tuesday, we will be doing the next episode of the Book of Boba Fett. So make sure you have notification bell on so you know when that video drops. And as always, I'm Putty. I appreciate y'all watching. And I'll see you in Chapter 2. Peace.